Hi, everybody. Um, this is my second video I am putting in YouTube. The reason I am coming online is to talk about the recent um, um, changes or the recent um, conflicts which is happening uh, in our neighboring countries, India and Pakistan. Um, we all know that India was able to launch 12 Mirage in the middle of the night and um, claim that India was able to take out all the terrorist camping sites, um, the four sites in Kashmir border, and successfully come back. Um, what I feel about this is um, I think it's an election stunt. That is what I feel. Um because um, you know they they have been we have been told that 350 people um, have been killed, which uh, they claim, or we have been told that all are terrorists. So, what we should assume is that there were four training terrorist training camps, and in four of them, at the middle of the night, around 3:45 p.m., all the non-terrorists um, in different parts of the world um, were uh, Pakistan has been known to give a shelter to and carry on their operation, um, have assembled at three around exactly 3:45 in this four different camps, which count more than 400 350 people and terrorists, and they were all killed in the mission. I mean, what I think it's what I feel it's too good to be true. Because first of all, uh, India is has not uh, has a responsibility to declare to the world that um, at least the leader, I mean, the terrorist leader, um, whoever that is, who was able to control all these terrorists, and who were doing the training in the middle of the night in these four camps. Um, what was that? I mean, pure uh, evidence that he is dead, um, in using a reliable source, at least, and then we can go from that point. But using uh, the tool that it's private, it cannot be disclosed, and it has to be um, kept secret, and has to be um, confidential, does not make any sense to me, because why you need to keep that confidential, uh, um, considering the fact that these people were wanted terrorists, and they were preparing for terrorist suicide attacks all over the world or planet, and the world will be happy to know, and uh, India will be appreciated for the act of courage and the precision and their military capability. Um, but instead, they are not disclosing anything. Um, they're saying the people have been eliminated. It is more than 350 people, and that's it. At least in when they killed Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad, near the military headquarters. Um, we had 3 or 4 people to witness that, and even though the photos were not published, but it was clear with the DNA evidence and dental records and other procedures which needed to be done to confirm the death. No, but here in this situation, nothing is being revealed, and only um, patriotism and nationalism in different levels has been projected, and has been used by all parties in India against a hidden agenda, uh, which any common layman can think of is uh, to benefit the coming election, for their victory using this tool. You know, when the demonetization happened, and in face value, everybody thought that it is a great thing, because like everybody was hearing like millions and billions of dollars counterfeits were being transported shipwise, and and that was purposely done and delivered to destroy our economy and everything. So I mean, we all believed in it. Uh, so making us believe that, I don't know whether it was a PR strategy or whether it was actually true. Anyway, um, so making us believe, and demonetization, the simple act of that itself, initially looked appropriate and good, and we expected a big change. Um, but later we came to know that that was just a waste of time, waste of money, waste of um, people's um, um, job, resources, and inconvenience in all parts, and panic situations. And the end result was not the one which was being told and was anticipated. So demonetization was a bigger failure. And also, we know that in India, it is um, a climate of statue building. Um, we don't have any other problems. The government is least worried about our farmers, uh, the climatic conditions, um, the old climatic scenarios um, um, gives which the country is suffering a bigger impact in terms of agriculture, and which affects common people, especially farmers, um, who are the bottom line of people who serve food to the everybody, which actually is essential for um, the whole way of living, um, and the whole cultural society, uh, which are dependent on agriculture. And the basic thing, uh, the agriculture is being compromised because of um, very unusual climatic conditions, and in which global warming is a main role, um, and people are suffering, and uh, farmers committing suicide um, all over the world, with the water problems, the flood situations in a small area in a very large scale, uh, heavy rains, and then after that, um, a long drought situation without any rain for a long time, and this odd climatic conditions, which is actually taking a toll in the geography of uh, the country, where um, systems and projects and laws and um, um, social implications have been made, uh, depending on uh, our climate, and depending on the strategy and the statistics that we have uh, um, in based on per capita income and geography and climate, and um, all the resources we have in terms of water, mine, um, in terms of um, natural resources we have in a particular area, that all is been compromised because of the unusual uh, climatic change, and unusual political, social, and economic situations fluctuating in um, uh, in a point where we cannot control and make a change in an immediate basis, where we need a long period of time, which we don't have. So actually that is backfiring, and backing up of backup of the situations is creating a menace to the society in terms of living, and which is indirectly affecting our life in terms of higher commodity prices, and we are actually victims of that. It's not like in a one small village, or a one state, or a district, or a nation. It's happening globally. Saying that, uh, I want to continue my conversation, which I actually ended in the last one, which was about a religion, and about how it affects our normal life, and how it steal our precious life and the time um, of our people who are trying to meet ends, try to make ends meet. Mm. Uh, um, Religion. When I say about religion, the first claim they always put is, no matter what we say, uh, they will not deny not having an external force, because something is coming from nothing is indigestible, and in our common norms, in our where our brain can think as a common layman, it does not hold up. So uh, so when that has been told in a community, how can something be made of nothing? Uh, so we see everything right now, which is in proportionate to um, uh, and proportionate, and it's coordinated with the perfect ecosystem, and we are living, and there is somebody controlling everything, and everything was not made from nothing. There's nothing, uh, you know in the beginning, and somebody made everything from nothing. So if you say there is not a creator, and everything was made from nothing, it cannot comprehend with the logic of a common, in a common layman prospect, the way they think. Well, when I'm refuting, if I want to refute that argument of a religion, saying something cannot make from nothing, and there should be a creator, I should go back to the Big Bang, which is actually the most common and approved analogy right now present in the situation, where we can explain that how something can be made by nothing. As I have explained in several videos and in several forums, that there is a stage where um, you have to understand that there is um, a situation that there is nothing called nothing. So nothing is actually a metaphor. There is not a situation called nothing. There is always something. Example, we know about the singularity, and how the singularity paved the way uh, for our nature to be formed. And when the before Big Bang, and when the nature when the Big Bang started after the Planck's constant, 10 raised to minus 33, where the physics doesn't apply, um, in that particular time. And the universe, as we all know, is expanding. And so, how matter, energy are related? We know Einstein's general theory of relativity, and we now know about antimatter. So when we say about matter that we see in the universe, that the religions say that we all, I mean, look at all these things, the mountains, the valleys, the river, ocean, the stars, moon, you know, all is made by somebody. I mean, these are all matter, but they are forgetting about the antimatter. Uh, they are either forgetting about antimatter, or they don't care about antimatter, or they don't know about antimatter. Without antimatter, there won't be any matter. It's just like a positive and a negative energy. So if there's no positive energy, there is no negative energy. So this needs to be balanced. So um, we have antimatter in the same level of matter, but the advantage that we got, the small advantage we got over the antimatter on matter, uh, is what brings us today, and what brings us what we see everything around us as matter. So we'll see how this happens. We know about black holes and supernova, and we know the millions and millions of Milky Ways and galaxies, and our Milky Way even consists of billions of stars, which includes our solar system, including our sun. But when we look through the Hubble telescope, all Milky Way galaxies that we see, like millions and billions of light years that we see, are all belonged in the same faculty. That I mean, all the emptiness and all the matter and all the antimatter are are within the same entity. So you cannot look this from outside the universe and see what matter is and what antimatter is, because it is all inside the same entity. When the universe started to expand after the Big Bang, and it was very dense, it was very hot, the kind of hot that we cannot comprehend, that much hot. That means we have to say that all this matter was consolidated to a single point, very dense point, which our imagination cannot comprehend. So that is singularity, where physics does not apply. The the formula of physics, the common equations of physics, does not apply in that stage. When Big Bang happened, everything happened. Time happened, space happened, matter happened, energy happened. Everything happened after Big Bang, and then physics happened, and we were able to calculate everything. And before that, the question itself is not valid, because before Big Bang, I mean, we can say there was nothing. There was complete darkness, but that means that it's not nothing. There were quarks, there were subatomic particles, there were protons. Um, of course, I'm sorry, there were not protons. Protons only came later on. I will explain to you how the protons came. But before a Big Bang, it was like a matter uh, without combining together to form a star or to form a body. It was separated as particles everywhere, but there was antimatter and matter also at the same time, which both we were not able to see. Why? Because subatomic particles are not visible on our naked eye. So, I mean, so we can say it's nothing um, on the perception of our eyes, which our brain analyze, but that doesn't mean that it's nothing. It is something, and like I said, it's made of matter and antimatter. It may be in the stage of a subatomic level. So, what is a Big Bang? um, Everybody thinks that was a big explosion, but that is not correct. It is not explosion. Nothing exploded anywhere. I mean, there was nothing to explore in the first place. So what happened was, it was um, the, what happened was quantum fluctuation happened. So everything was balanced in particle level, in quantum level, in antimatter matter level. It was not a single big body or small body, or gravity was not involved, matter was not involved, energy was not involved, light was not involved, electromagnetic radiations was or not involved. But there was a fluctuation which happened. That fluctuation that is called Big Bang. What is that fluctuation? That fluctuation is by the experiment conducted in the um, um, in the hydrogen in the mm, uh, um, the experiment conducted in Europe in um, a large hydrogen collider. You know, I mean, we were able to um, we were able to carry uh, um, a particle in the speed of a light, large hydrogen collider. We were able to um, bombard two particles at subatomic level, and we were able to scatter, um able to observe the energy coming from that impact, and how the energy, what kind of radio magnetic radiations happen, what kind of uh, uh, electromagnetic radiations, and what all frequencies took place, and we were able to examine the kind of energy, or the kind of um, radiations, what the different types of radiations happened by the bombardment of two particles. But what we observed was, when two subatomic particles collided in the speed of light, um, um, uh, we saw that we created antimatter. Antimatter was created, but that antimatter, we were not able to measure, or we were not able to record it in any way, because that was way beyond our comprehension to examine, or to calculate, or to measure, because it was very fast. Um, but we know there was antimatter, and that was called Higgs boson. But Higgs boson is still a concept, a small fluctuation. Uh, so, um, so what actually happened in Big Bang, according to that, is a lot of the collision happened, and different electromagnetic radiations uh, came into existence because of the bombardment. of these particles in the speed of light. And uh, and uh, one matter lot of matter and antimatter was formed, and one matter collide with antimatter, and an energy is produced, and that energy will again convert to matter. So that is the formula: matter, antimatter, they bombard each other to create energy, and that energy get transformed to matter, and this process keeps on going, happening again and again and again. But after Planck's constant, the after happened, 10 raised to minus 33 seconds after the Big Bang, the we examined a very fast expansion of the matter, and where the time originated. So after the Big Bang, the time originated, matter originated, energy originated, and it was very fast. That's the quantum fluctuation that we observed, and that was actually a quantum fluctuation. So the quantum entanglement is also right now explained using a Big Bang, because these all are connected, coming from the same particle in different energy levels, whether here or whether several million light years, it all connected, and that's how we have a space time, and um, theory of Einstein was able to uh, combine with the Newtonian principles and theory, and we were able to examine. And also Stephen Hawking also predicted the same about black holes, and how the black holes um, could do the impact. I mean, the curvature, when a large object like a sun will do to space-time, or Earth could do to space-time, and heavenly bodies, how it's influenced by the small heavenly bodies influenced by large heavenly bodies, because of the space-time curvature. But when we come to the black holes, uh, black holes actually um, cause the space time um, to curve infinitely. That means it's that means it's so strong. Um, Actually, the black hole is the placenta of a galaxy. So it actually balances the formation of a stars and the collapse of a star, and that's how we get the spiral galaxy, and that's actually controlled together using gravity and matter and energy, and it's controlled by the black hole. So the old stars will get sucked up by the black hole, and so it gives space to the new star, and it's actually controlled by gravity, like I said. So inside the black hole, nothing can come out of a black hole, even light. So it's the energy is very very low. I mean, very huge, that we cannot comprehend that kind of an energy using our layman terms and using our layman brain. But that energy is it can suck stars inside, and it can just um, dissolve it, and taking out all the energy from the stars, and making it a supernova. Um, so when we are at the brink of the black hole, a star actually, we sucked inside the black hole, and when it sucks, the whole energy is being taken out, and it's only left with the mass without a gravity. So that mass is actually converted to gamma rays and different rays because of the huge gravity and because of the huge force, the big I mean quadrillion energy that a black hole has. It's able to convert it to a specific radiation like a gamma radiation in a very high intensity and just make it disappear. So it gives space to the formation of another star in order to balance that spiral galaxy in place. So there are also parallel universes. Um, the example of a parallel universes, how we found out there are parallel universes is from our universe itself, because our universe is expanding, and the reason why our universe was expanding was because of a parallel universe, because some universe other than our universe much stronger in in gravity and matter and energy, and and formed in not in the way that our galaxy was formed, is able to pull our galaxy or our universe as a whole, and which creates the matter and also the antimatter to expand in the same way, within our universe. So it's all happening within our universe. You cannot go outside our universe, but there is parallel universe, and that universe is making the whole uh, stars and everything inside our universe to expand and to create that kind of force to expand. So what we are trying to say is all galaxies have a black holes, which actually controls the spiral shape of the galaxy as a whole, and uh, this galaxy where our sun belongs um, is also a part of the galaxy. We don't exactly know which location and our sun and our solar system is located in our galaxy, but we have an idea where we are. So that way we calculated that our sun has maybe 5 billion more years of um, life, and after that it will become a huge big red giant, and it will be um, spreading much in a diameter close to our earth, and it will absorb the earth and all our planets, and then it will finally like all other stars and all other solar system will be trapped to the black hole, and it will be disappeared forever. So that's going to happen. So we know about dark matter, dark energy, matter, and how the protons, the neutrons, and electrons were formed. We know how the first hydrogen atom was developed after the Big Bang, and what paved the way to the causation of the hydrogen atoms. And yeah, first there were only neutrons uh, at the time when all the matter was in in a very dense, very hot um, spot point. We only had the neutrons. I mean, neutrons in a very high energy level. That's why when we split atoms, the neutrons still is has a much high energy level, which can destroy anything. Because first neutrons were cool, were formed, but when the space starts cooling itself after a long process of years, of long millions and millions of years, this all takes place in millions and millions of years. Uh, um, then we protons were able to form. Then the we got the perfect condition for a proton to evolve from apart from the neutron. and these protons and neutrons were able to compact each other using gravity, and electrons were also became part of it as a part of electromagnetic radiation, and as a part of antimatter. When the protons were formed, in order for the proton to sustain, to be stable, we needed a positron, which is an antimatter. So it's a proton has a positive energy, and also there's a positron that is a negative energy. That's antimatter. So, like that, the quantum fluctuation and the quantum particles were formed, and the quantum particles, they correlate together in a certain way, up quark, down quark, um, mm, uh, and they configure in a certain way to form atoms, and these atoms configure in a certain way to form molecules, and the behavior of atoms, the arrangement of all these atoms, starting from the subatomic level, will give the properties of the molecule which are formed by the atom, which are formed by the subatomic particles. And we now know how once Einstein called a spooky effect of uh, the particle of an electron when it's passed through two slits. One electron was passed through two slits, um, passed through two slits. This one electron was able to copy its own replica, and we were able to see two electrons in the two slits. So I mean, how they copy each other, it's it's not a mystery actually. It's actually the property of the matter, which now we know as quantum entanglement. Um, so this quantum entanglement is one reason is connected to biology, that um, that tells us, and can be was very useful in our modern technology that we are using in gadgets, especially the cell phones and all other microchips and transistors. The cell phones, how they work with the transistors and microchips, and the more the small the cell phone gets, we are developing the science. It's actually going in an exponential level. That means um, the capacity of the transistors is going exponentially. So we now will be able in the future to control our brain, and also with the materials outside, and using quantum entanglement, we will be able to control the outside phenomena, that outside things we wanted. We still have the technology. We can control a robot using our thinking process of our brain. This is because these all are chemical processes. I mean, all the signals coming are particles, and the energy, the signaling is all particles. All the energy are particles. That we know that. So I mean, these particles are entangled each other, from us and also from outside. So we all are connected. So that connectivity enables us to do more quantum computing. Right now, we know that we use the silica, that we find in the sand, second to air and water, that we use in cell phones to actually think and do work for us. So they do the thinking. The silicons has a property of thinking, that we do actually by doing variations in electrons. So as we know that all matter contains electrons, so we will be able to do quantum computing in the future in space, and we will be able to go much advanced. We don't know, but it's an exponential growth that we are expecting. We are still working on it, so it actually helping us in a tremendous big way in biology, and also in our health care systems. And in the future, we predict of instead of Homo sapiens, dual is on the way. That means our brain is connected to microchips and transistors, and we will be able to live forever with the requirements that that we need using quantum computing. But we don't know how far we had to go for that. But we won't be here at that time. That may be a different species, duals, not Homo sapiens. So that actually consists of brain connected to microchip and transistors and connected to the external world, and everything is electronized. But we are still will be able to think just like a human beings. We will be able to do everything that human beings do, but everything will be doing electronically, not in by in a inorganic way. I mean, organic way. I'm sorry, I got disconnected. So actually, I'm winding up, but saying about the future of human beings, how we will be um, parting up with a robot. You know, we'll be working together, and how our brain will be influenced, and with our thinking process, and the quantum computing, the applications will be enormous. And so we have done this everything so far. I mean, we have achieved so much. It's a big salute to science. Um, and So if we were eradicating all the harmful um, um, illnesses which actually caused a large harm to the human race as a whole, like a plague, chicken pox, uh, smallpox, everything has been eradicated, and that was the benefit of a science, and how we thought apart from the religion and the religious book, apart from its thinking that it's not just the God's curse, it is something you know happening inside the body, which we should go outside the common norms, and think to find solutions. And we were successful in that, and we now are standing in the internet age where everybody can communicate everybody. Now nobody has a question. If anybody has questions, they can ask freely, and they can think freely, and that is where free thinkers come. Uh, we don't need anybody to explain to us what to do and what to follow, and what is right and what is wrong. We are here to explore again and again, and we are here to find new, more things in all field of um, aspects we live in, to make it better and better, and make a better world. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day. Bye.